Experts say within 10 years, we won't be using cash. Instead, we'll reach for a smart card to make our purchases. Prototypes are already being tested, including this prepaid calling card sold by Ameritech in Indiana. You buy, say, a $5 card, it's good for $5 worth of calls. When you've used up the money, you throw the card away. Some states are selling highway toll cards. They're read electronically, and drivers don't have to stop at the toll booth. Experts say soon one card will be good for everything from donuts to taxi rides.
Unfortunately, Simon Phoenix was not coded. While you were sleeping, everyone in the city was installed code. It was a brilliant idea by Dr. Cocteau that an organically bioengineered microchip be sewn into the skin. Sensors all over the city can zero in on anyone at any time.
I can't even conceive a visual of what you police officers did before it was developed.
Now, Phoenix could be anywhere, but not being coded could hurt him and limit his options.
That is correct. Money is outmoded. All transactions are through codes.
Identification.
Request to leave the United States. Granted. Proceed.
What in the world is happening? There's been an increase in crime, war, disease, financial disasters, peace in the Middle East. All these things were prophesied. For the answer, stay tuned. The countdown has begun.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order. A new world order. New world order. A new world order.
Is there a plan to inject a computer chip in everyone on planet Earth to track, to identify, and to control their lives? We'd like to welcome you to the program No ID Found. Here to tell us about all the technology that is soon to come upon us is Terry Cook from California. Terry, we'd love to welcome you to the program.
Praise God, Dell. I'm glad to be back today. Thank you very much.
Well, tell us.
There is a plan.
Is there a new world order?
There's a new world order coming.
Is there a new religion coming?
A new religion's coming. There's a new economic system coming. And indeed, there is a plan to number every person on the earth by means of injecting under their skin, in either their right hand or their forehead, a microchip such as the ones we're holding in our hands as displayed in these plastic boxes. And this is the scanner to read the ID chip with a radio wave. We're going to get into a lot more details a little bit further into the program, Del, but let's share with people briefly the concept that there is a whole new infrastructure, a whole new plan, a whole new system of identification that's coming that government documentation reveals will be in place no later than the year 2000. In fact, there's a new world army coming, and as you mentioned, Reagan introduced this concept of a new world army for the United Nations, operated through and by the United Nations. In other words, there'll be a global police force, a global army operated out of the United Nations headquarters, and they'll be the Gestapo on planet Earth by the year 2000.
So this, what we've been seeing, this army, this United Nations, it's a part of it. I remember hearing for years now talk about the coming together of the nations, but we're beginning to see it.
We're beginning to see it. The Bible specifically says that in the last days, and I believe we're currently living in those last days, there'll be a 10-kingdom confederacy. You know, for many years, theologians thought that it would be a 10-nation confederacy out of Europe. Initially, it looked like that, but now we're beginning to see the real plan unfold as what was related in the Treaty of Rome during the 60s in Europe. And that Treaty of Rome specifies that there'll be a world community of kingdoms of nations, that the world will be divided into 10 segments. And with NAFTA just having passed, we
do you feel that's part of it?
That was definitely part of it. And that united essentially Canada, Mexico, and the United States into this Treaty of Rome Region 1 for this satanic global new world order, world government.
They're calling it economic systems. They're like, bring them together for economics. They're saying it's a good thing. It opens up trading zones.
Right.
It'll help create more jobs. It'll help stimulate business people.
That's right.
But really,
That's right.
ultimately, it's a goal of the devil.
It's a goal of the devil. And this new economic promise they're making is going to require an entirely new identification system so that we can all be moved into a cashless society where there's no money, there's no dollar bill, there's no coin in your pocket at all. There's a new means of purchasing things called the debit system. Of course, we're being brainwashed into that system right now. We're being conditioned into a cashless society by means of the ATM cards that we're presently using at the bank. But ultimately, however, those cards that can be lost will be replaced by an implantable biochip under the skin of our right hands and in our foreheads, and they'll be read with radio wave scanners, and that's what this is, Del.
So really the beginning of the credit card system, credit, being in debt, was the conditioning to get us to accept this more and more and more. We see it happening at filling stations. We see it happening at the marketplaces where we buy our groceries.
That's right.
They're trying to get everybody to buy into this thing, and eventually we're going cashless.
Eventually and very soon. I believe that...
But what about the person that argues and says it'll not happen for a millennium?
Well, we're gonna dissuade that sort of argument today. Hopefully, by the time we will have completed this program, we'll have educated people to realize that these things we're discussing now are about or no more than 6 years off. In other words, we're in 1994 now for the purpose of this video. By the year 2000, these men who are bringing about this new world political order, the new world economic order, and the new world global religion, they all say in their own documentation that all of this will have been accomplished by the year 2000. So we're not setting dates. We're relating information as Christians.